Oh, hello folks, I didn't see you there. My name is Scythe Plays, and today I'm announcing a shirt that was actually created a couple months ago. It just for some weird reason took like 2 months for this to reach my house. I don't know why, but it turns out that these guys actually have something in place where if a shirt takes like a month or two to actually arrive, they just outright refund you. But in either case, folks, now we can finally end up talking about it. You've probably already seen me using it in videos, but we got the new Scythe Plays shirt, which is actually using the new YouTube logo. So you can just see it right here. This is just on a white t-shirt, so let me see if I can swap it over to a black one, which is like the one that I'm using right now. You can obviously just see it's the new logo as well as saying Scythe Plays at the bottom. So this is the first shirt that I actually have that officially says Scythe Plays on it. So I'm really, really excited about it, while also just having a new and improved logo and stuff like that. And I also want to take this opportunity to announce to all of you that all of the other items in the store, which unfortunately the store is like broken for me right now, so I can't look at it, but this stuff right here, anything that's got this, like my old logo, these are going to be a limited time item, folks. So get them while you can. If you want to be able to represent like old school Scythe before I ended up getting my upgraded better logo, because I think I'm actually going to be able to use this logo until the end of time. But this one right here, I ended up actually making myself. It was a personal thing that I ended up doing, and I made the logo myself just in my video editing software of all things, because I'm not good when it comes to paint stuff. But the reason why it's going to end up being limited time only is I'm going to end up contacting the merch store guy, like my guy, my connection, my manager of it, I guess I should say, and I'm going to tell him, change it. We're going to change it so that the hoodie and the beanie that actually has this logo is all going to swap over to the new logo, all right? So I can't give an estimated time for that. Most likely it's going to be a month or so, because I am going to also make the contact with the guy to try and figure out a new shirt design, which I have one in mind, and I'm going to kind of talk about that as we end up getting closer to the release of that shirt. And when that shirt ends up launching on the store, that's going to be the time that I'm going to tell him, okay, get rid of all of this old merch, just get it off of the store. But I wanted to do something today. I wanted to try and take a look at some of the older shirt designs. So I thought this would kind of be a cool way that we could kind of interact with one another here. And take a quick look at what some of the earlier shirt concepts were. So originally, these were just random internet pictures that I ended up finding. And I used these to kind of get an idea for what I was trying to explain was the concept for the Scythe Plays character, right? Because that's the whole thing, is it's like, I love the little Reaper dude. I feel like it's evolved into a cartoonish character, which is exactly what I wanted them to do. That's why I love these guys, or should I say I love their designer, because they do exactly what I tell them to a T. So I ended up using this design and kind of using this one as another example, and then this one. These are just, again, these are just random things. I just looked up like a cartoon Grim Reaper online, but you can kind of see where the influence ended up coming in for the characters. So I'm really happy that it ended up turning out the way that it did. And then here, this is gonna be pretty cool, but we're gonna get to look at some early concept designs of the actual shirt. So this was the first one that I told them, like when I told them how to draw it up, they ended up just putting out this one as well as a couple other options for the text. The first original image of the character, though, didn't end up having the little wavy line coming out of him, which I know for a lot of people might just look a little bit weird, but to me, it looks too strange to just have the straight circle. I understand that as far as like a 3D image, the hoodie would actually be behind him, but I felt that this little thing, though subtle, did end up making that much of a difference. And again, like I said, this was kind of the first original text that they ended up using, and then there was this one, which of course ended up being the official text that, or font, I guess I should say, that we ended up going for because it was nice and cartoonish. And then otherwise, this was another concept design, and then this one right here, which this one's just atrocious. Like, I don't really know, like, I'll say that they're great at designs. They don't seem to be able to deliver in font to the same fidelity as the designs themselves. So anyways, before we end up closing off for today, because yes, that already is pretty much this shirt design, like I said, I thought it would be really interesting for us to take a look at some of the earlier sketches as well of some of the other shirts. So you can kind of consider this a full-on behind the scenes of my merch and the way that it was designed. So this was actually the first original concept that they ended up having for my first shirt. I guess I should pull that one out for you guys. This one right here, this is going to end up being the final design. So you can kind of see where it ended up evolving from that point. And I think it's really, really cool how it kind of just came about in such a way. This was, of course, the second design, and as you can kind of see compared to the design that's actually on the shirt, it was still really cool, but it was kind of going for a little bit more of a darker, like more aggressive stance, like kind of pushing away from the character rather than kind of arching it over his back. I just kind of feel is a slightly more playful type of style. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's just kind of how I felt about it. And finally, this was the last of the concept design before I ended up just saying, yup, that's it, because it just looks so much better. The skull on the character just looks a little bit more 3D, while also not necessarily looking nearly as intimidating. He's kind of got that blank expression on his face, but it kind of just looks adorable, which is what I wanted them to go for in the first place, right? Then, of course, there was the first design with color, and originally they ended up just making it, you know, because I didn't tell them the color design that I wanted, where it was going to end up being a purple hood with green eyes. So it was pretty cool to actually see it kind of evolve from that point to the final design right here. And like, there's something about this character, I personally really, really love it. You know, I'm not trying to sound like I'm like obsessed with myself or anything like that, but I just really do like the design and the way that they ended up making this character, because it just kind of feels like a cool chibi Reaper character. And incidentally, you're going to be able to see this in a vlog video coming up soon, but hopefully the camera focuses in on it. I actually ended up getting my little Reaper skull as a tattoo design on my knuckle right here. So I think that's really, really cool too. Obviously, he couldn't end up putting the purple hood around it, but still, it was it's pretty crazy to see how far things have come. And then this is where the second shirt design ended up coming into play. Which of course is going to be when I ended up first getting Jub. So this is going to end up being the first shirt where I wanted to actually like have her as a character on the shirt, and you know, also kind of do a nice nod to Trove because of all the Trove fans and just the fact that my channel is widely known for Trove over any other video games that I've played outside of maybe Mario 64 co-op back in the day, but that doesn't really count anymore. And it's kind of cool, you know, I kind of wanted to make it so that it was like the character was messing with building blocks so that it wasn't entirely going to end up being like a complete ripoff, you know what I mean? But you can see here, this was the original concept they had for Jub. I ended up putting a couple kind of cute dog pug cartoon pictures, and ultimately I think that this one ended up turning out kind of cute, but at the same time it looks more like she's sad, you know, like it kind of looks like she's in trouble and being scolded or something. So I told them, can you please change that? And then they did. They kind of ended up just brightening up the face, making it smile a little bit more while still kind of having the same overall look to it. It still does look like she's kind of been a bit more curious and just kind of helping the character, who also just incidentally, you know, he's leaning his scythe against it, so it's kind of like a more cartoonish approach towards it. So then this was the original version that they ended up drawing up, which does actually make a lot more sense as far as my color palette is concerned, but it is a little bit too much purple going on, so obviously it wasn't going to end up working out. And then finally, last but not least, we ended up having the one that actually has a full-on proper yellow Trove thing, right? And the final version just had a couple small touches to it, as you're going to see right here. Maybe you can actually see it, maybe there's not. Yeah, it's most of all, it just ended up brightening up the yellow on the brick, so you can see this is the final version, this is the previous version. 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't know, you probably don't notice it as much as I do. And then that's pretty much it, folks. So the next shirt design that I'm actually planning to do, I already fully know what I actually want. I kind of have a summer theme going on for the next one, so I'll just kind of let you guys know what the plan is for it and what you can end up expecting, because most likely the shirt is going to end up showing up in the store, and then usually what I like to do is order a shirt myself so that I can end up showing you all what it actually looks like on a human being. But maybe when the new shirt design shows up, maybe I could just put out a quick little notification, let you guys know, hey, the new shirt's actually there. Maybe I'll put it in a community post or something like that. But the design that I want to go for, picture this, okay? It's going to be the Grim Reaper character, He might not actually be in his hoodie this time. He might just kind of have his bony body and be in summer shorts, because I kind of want him to have his arms crossed, have deal with it shades, and kind of be leaning a little bit forward, and so you can kind of see a little bit of a gleam in his eye, like he's kind of like serious, right? Because behind him is going to be kind of a spray painted wall, or maybe a painted wall, kind of like a Splatoon type of style concept of font that says Scythe Plays, right? And then the part that's going to kind of be funny is it's going to give the impression that it kind of was like spray paint or something like that, while adding that little bit of cartoonishness where he's going to end up having like a paintbrush in his back pocket, kind of dripping off. So it's like, how did they ended up making, you know, how did he ended up painting such like a well-made design with just a paintbrush? And then on top of that, in the bottom corner is going to be Jub facing the wall with a brush in her mouth that's also leaking, and she's kind of gonna be looking up at the wall, but you're gonna be seeing her back, so that you're gonna be able to see that nice little X on her butt. So I think, you know, kind of the whole concept of the character, like thinking he's all serious, while the whole image itself is just going to be completely ridiculous and kind of childish in a way, is the best image that I can go for, and what I like in my own brand, and kind of like the design of my shirts and stuff like that. So as always, I hope that you guys are going to be into it, because obviously, you know, that's the whole thing, is it's like I'm kind of just making shirts that I really enjoy and think are cool, while not necessarily like, I don't know, do you guys like them? I hope that you do. But either way, we'll talk more about that shirt as it develops. That's probably going to end up taking a little while, because it's usually a lot of back and forth between me and them before we end up getting it finalized and then thrown into the store. And then last but not least, I actually have sponsorships available on my channel right now, and I'm going to try and talk to the merch store guy to see if we can end up getting a little bit of a deal, so that if anybody actually decides to sponsor my YouTube channel, you should be able to get like a bit of a discount on my merch. So hopefully I can figure something like that out. I should be figuring out like a contest and stuff like that for the merch store, because the website is actually quite powerful in that regard. But honestly speaking, I just never bothered to learn it, and I kind of suck at those things. So in either case though, folks, thanks for watching, very much appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. That's also going to build up loyalty points for the merch store, which you can redeem for 10% off if you haven't already. And then otherwise, other ways to support me is by sponsoring my channel, as well as Gawkbox is going to be on the link in the description as well, which is a way that you can actually donate to me for absolutely free. Anyways though, folks, thank you so much for watching. Sayonara and stay epic.